Hello, hello. Welcome back to another episode of More with Dr. Elly. I am so happy that you're here. And today is an incredible episode because it is the last day, y'all. It is the last day of the first quarter of 2026. I cannot believe that it has been 3 months since we've entered into the new year. And I just want to check in on y'all. I want to check in on each and every single one of you. How are you doing? How are you doing? And are you being a good keeper of yourself? Are you checking in on yourself? Are you asking yourself the most critical question about what you might need, about how rested you might be as a person, about the things that you need to do for yourself in order for you to really feel good and feel grounded and feel aligned? Maybe you need to work out more. Maybe you need to drink your water. Maybe you need to see your friends more and put yourself out there. What are the things that you need that can help you show up in the world in the fullness of who you are? The reason why I wanted to start this episode from that note is because as ambitious and high achieving women who are high performers, it is so easy for us to respond to everybody else's needs and not create the time to check in on ourselves. We live in a world where time is so valuable. And sometimes time is a one thing that we desire more than anything else because we are so busy and we do have so many things going on. And it doesn't feel as if we have enough time in a day. That's another conversation for another day. Therefore, when it comes to priorities, we put everybody else as a priority. We put our work as our priorities instead of actually putting ourselves as a priority so that when we show up in the world, we show up in the best form possible. That way we're better equipped as people living from within ourselves to take care of everybody else around us. It is so important that as a women we learn to be keepers of ourselves. And I'm using this word keeper because, as y'all know, the cultural leadership theme for 2026 at ETK is my sister's keeper. Over the last couple of weeks, we've been talking a lot about personal branding and how we show up with influence, how we show up with authenticity, how we ensure that our personal brand is aligned with who we are. And alongside that, we have been working on the branding, on the communications around my sister's keeper. And as y'all know, we hosted our first ETK Hub After Work right here in Geneva. And for you ladies across the world, wait for the news because we might be coming to a city near you. And now I want to pivot a little bit to really talk about our cultural leadership theme and why it matters so much. Why it matters so much as we prepare ourselves to bring you other lessons in Q2 around traditional leadership. Therefore, you should have received in your mailboxes or on our WhatsApp community a poll to let us know what you want to learn about in the next quarter. What are the traditional leadership topics that teach you how to lead that you want to learn about? Let us know so that we can prepare ourselves in Q2 to bring you that knowledge and those insights. Now, on the cultural leadership theme, my sister's keeper, this topic, y'all, is so important. Just a while ago, I had a conversation with our board of directors at ETK Leadership Solutions, and we're talking about why this topic of being each other's keepers matters so much. As women, we often take it for granted that we know what it means for us to really show up for each other, to show up personally for each other, and to show up professionally for each other. And we take it for granted because we think we have all the tools and resources necessary for us to be each other's keepers. But when we really interrogate that and we look critically at the kinds of relationships that we might have, at the kinds of conversations that I'm having with women, about women not supporting them, about women being gatekeepers of them, about women being jealous of them and therefore not wanting to invite them to the table, we have to be able to critically analyze that even further to understand where that division might be coming from. I teach always that when a woman truly is living in her truth and is fully grounded in who she is as a person, understands her value, understands her strengths, her abilities, her purpose and mission, this is the kind of woman that you want to surround yourself with because she would always show up rooting for other women. Because she's so busy with her own life, fulfilling her own purpose and her mission, there's not enough time on her plate for her to be gossiping about other women or for her to be trying to keep other women down. And then, of course, yeah, those women who think because they've struggled their whole lives must make other women struggle as well. It's not necessary that because you had a challenging time when you were building your career and becoming who you are, that other women must go through the same thing. The reason why we get to experience challenges is so that we can take the lessons from those challenges and share them with other women. And part of us learning, really learning and practicing how to be each other's keepers is understanding that we're not living in a society right now that facilitates that. We're living in a society that's extremely individualistic. Everybody for themselves. Everybody now is a superstar. Everybody now is a celebrity. Everybody now has a platform. Therefore, in that, we become so self-possessed that we don't understand how to put ourselves aside so that we can support other people. And I'm not saying here that you should ignore who you are and not nurture who you are, because that's exactly how I started the conversation. But what I'm saying is that we need to push back on individualism and understand that we rise together in community. We rise together when we stand together. There's something that Auntie Maya Angelou said that is so powerful. She said, I come as one, but I stand as 10,000. I come as just one person, but I stand as 10,000. She understood what it meant to stand as 10,000, to acknowledge the women who came before her, the women who created spaces, the women who fought for spaces for her to be able to come as one, but stand as 10,000. Therefore, it's so important for us when we're practicing and learning to be each other's keepers that, yes, it might just be us showing up, but we're coming because of the energy and the support and the caring of other women who have come before us and the women who are standing with us now. I say it all the time. I was raised and I was built by women. There's no way I would be who I am and where I am had it not been for all the women who have carried me into this space. Therefore, we have to understand that that standing as 10,000 is actually what allows us to live fulfilling lives, to stand in community as a whole, as a collective, where we are healing together, where we are growing together, where we are impacting together. For us, this is a reason why this theme, My Sister's Keeper, matters so much. We're also going to be talking a lot about this cultural leadership thing of being my sister's keeper, because we got to learn how to stand together. We got to learn how to be a collective, because truly that is what we are. So I want to hear from you, all of you. How are you learning to keep yourself? And how are you learning and practicing to keep other women? I'm using this word practicing intentionally because we have to be able to actually embody certain practices that allow us to show up as each other's keepers. Now I want to go ahead and leave you with something special as we round up this episode. We recently unveiled the branding of My Sister's Keeper, and y'all know branding and communications is so important to me because as much as it matters what you say and why you say it, it matters how you say it. So communications is a core part of what we do as a leadership and communications firm. So the branding for this year, y'all, is absolutely beautiful. I think you have seen it. If you haven't, this is the branding for My Sister's Keeper. Now, this is a quote card that our women in our community who come to our ETK Hub Afterworks receive, because on the back of it carries an incredible message and conversation prompts that we use in our ETK Hub after work. I want to go ahead and read this quote card in particular and leave you with that. This one says, "You cannot effectively be a keeper of another woman if you are not first a keeper of yourself. You cannot hold her with integrity while simultaneously abandoning yourself. True care can never be built on self-abandonment. It is built in honoring your own being so you are strengthened and fully equipped to honor the being of others." We got to learn how to honor ourselves, how to care for ourselves so that we can more effectively show up and honor the being of other women. I'm excited to continue this conversation with you on what it means for us to be each other's keepers. Don't forget to fill in the poll to let us know what you want to learn in the scope of traditional leadership in the next quarter. You have been listening to More with Dr. Elly, and I will see you next time. Thank you so much for tuning in.